Yes, greetings, family. Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, Empress Razira Menin. Yes, family. One perfect balance. Welcome to a magnificent Monday edition of Politically Incorrect, where we get it correct, as usual. Um, I don't know if the budget thing's still going on. I would gotta check because I don't really know. So I don't know if folks will tune into that tonight or otherwise. Nevertheless, we in the building. We in the building. It's good to be here. Feeling mighty. Had a beautiful day. I trust that everyone had a beautiful and wonderful day. Steve, I see you. Peace, bro. Islam. I see you, Andrea, Jackie. Yeah, thanks for plugging in and linking. We got much to discuss tonight. I sent the links to the elder. I ain't hearing forwards yet. I'll probably give him a shout. I see. Okay, I wish you was coming on too. And let's get a message from somebody that would be really nice coming on tonight from the medicinal cannabis, whatever that's supposed to be, because I'm not sure. But nevertheless, we're going to touch on some things tonight that, yeah, man, you're going to need a pen for sure. You're going to need a pen, your notebook. Aisha said she got a book. You're going to need it. Natasha, we see you. Yeah, you're going to need that tonight for sure. Your smartphone. You're going to need something to, on the replay, though, you can't go wrong. If you miss it, you could catch it forward easily. So, oh boy, I had something in mind I wanted to drop tonight. Let me see if I could find it. If I could find it. But I had found it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Boy, there's a rough one though. Jeez, I gonna risk at it, man. I gonna risk at it. Wait. Not that. I gonna risk at it, man. I had this in mind earlier. So you're gonna risk at it, man. They're gonna risk at it. I see what's going on. Phil, I see you. Blessed night, man. Jacqueline is all good. We just gonna drop this real quick in the mix. Wait, can I do it like this? I wonder if I could do it like this. Probably can. Let me try it this way instead and see. Let me try it this way and see what happens. Let me see what happens. Hang on a second. But remember, family, this is the time where you go tell a friend to tell a friend for obvious reasons. A lot of stuff going on. There's really I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say, man. Is the budget still on? The brainwashing, the what do you call it? The promises still coming forward? Let me know if the promises still on, man. We want to go to the promised land. We don't want no promises. I know. I think our prime servant already said she can't take us to the promised land. So I don't know what promises they giving people tonight. Promises, just comforts for the fools, though. Only comforts to the fool, man. I don't even know what to say to that. But anyhow, tell a friend to tell a friend. And that's how we're going to deal with it. Just tell a friend and tell a friend. In the meantime, in the between time, I want you to go ahead now and make sure you link up. We got our special guest all the way from Yarraman, just across the water. We got Uncle coming in tonight, the elder. So that will be really good. We're going to deal with a few issues. Food security in the Caribbean. The question really is, who going to feed us? Let me pull this one here from the beginning, family. You got a tune here. Want to mix up tonight, man. Live it up, family. In the meantime, go tell a friend to tell a friend. Y'all already know how this goes. How thrilling. Living in harmony, family. Love and harmony. Sanchez. Big tune, big tune. This tune here was on my mind all day, man. Do it for love. Do it for love, family. Love from above, family. Nice for you and me, the family. Living in love and harmony.
All those barriers and gun towns Brick by brick, we gonna tear them down.
Bring them down.
All obstacles, all evil powers standing in our way.
Jeez, get rid of the evil powers.
All 16s and my 10s, let's get out on our knees. Yes, my friends, and look up to the east. From whence cometh our help.
The help come from the Almighty.
Oh, that sweet divining love.
Do it for love.
Yeah, do it for love.
Just for the family. Y'all see me going in my little space now, right? Politically incorrect. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Coming to you live. Feeling the vibes, man.
Some of them are wild and they don't realize that this time we're living in this same life.
Yes. Teach the children. Rastaman been chanting Babylon long. 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 Rastafari been telling us. We do it for the love. For you and me. Living in love and harmony in the whole family. Love. Give me some feed forward, family. Hearts, hearts of love. Give me some hearts. Send energy to your people. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Save the black nation, the youths. For the youths. Love from above. Jeez, hombre. This tune right here. This tune right here. Sanchez. Living in love and harmony, family. I don't know what else to say, man. Just do it for love, man. Just do it for love. Trilling. Yes, Sanchez, man. The elder drop it from the beginning, man, and make it just sweet, 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 sweet. Sweet would be. Yes, family. Welcome, welcome, and every and each and every one. This is just powerful, man. Sleepless nights. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Politically incorrect in the building. Sweet dividing love. Love that was sent from above, family. Love from above, man. Love from above, man. How you can touch that kind of love? Love from above. I talking the textbook love and the Cupid love and the Hollywood love and the bold face, front face love. We talking about love from above. Divine love, man. Divine order on earth. You know what I mean? And that's what we're dealing with, man. Just pure meditation, sweet vibes, loving vibes, pure energy. Tell a friend and tell a friend. I've been trying to get on my page to send this to some people, and for some reason, I don't even know what to say no more, man. Like the man tell me that they want already. I refuse to accept that. But something went wrong. Please try again. Retry. Something went wrong. Please try again. Retry. It just not work. They don't know you. It just not work at all. They say not you and this tonight, man. So it looked like I've been officially hacked and a person of interest because and the thing is I could go on any other page and no problem. As I go on politically incorrect, as I click it, look, politically incorrect, it come up. Something went wrong. Wow. Nevertheless, though, family, we should got Dominique in the house. Charles, I see you. I see you, brother, man. Listen, if you're interested in agriculture, if you're thinking about growing food, if you're concerned about food security, and look, go get a pen, go get your paper, your tablet, your book, whatever you use. Go tell a friend and tell a friend. If you know somebody who's interested in gardening, trying to get this thing going in terms of community initiative, whatever you want to do, tell a friend to tell a friend. We got the elder coming in shortly. And before I touch that, I want to share some stuff real quick. Use the notification. That's how I got on. Told me the same thing. Wow. Wow. Okay. So you got to use the notification to get on my page. Now imagine that I am the admin and can't even get on my own page. Like they got me blocked out of my own page. It's funny. I mean, it's just so crazy. I mean, that's the best y'all could come up with. Let me see if I can find the notification. Cheese on bread. I mean, they got it down to science here, though. You know what? That distraction, man. Who's supposed to plug in with plug-in? That's all. I mean, that's it, man. I can't. They ain't gonna pull that one on me, man. At all. So here what we gonna do real quick. There's some things I want to touch real quick. It's like, geez, on boy, we gotta put so much in tonight, like cram it in tonight. But we gonna get it to fit for sure. I was there listening earlier to the Prime Servant discuss some initiatives and whatnot. But you all realize that every year budget, you see all these promises and implementations and what we're going to do and what we're going to spend, and we're going to allocate money here, there, and everywhere. And, you know, this project is set to start roughly around the next budget. It's always promised to start a massive project, but it's going to probably get off the ground by the next budget or shortly after the next fiscal year, that kind of stuff. So you know you've been, you know, well, why would you? Anyhow, a promise is a comfort to a fool. But one or two things jumped out at me that I got to touch on. They talk about free education was an initiative that we benefited from, which is funny because, yes, it was free education, but what they was doing was educating servants how to be a servant. They were teaching you how. It was free, but for the majority of the people who just got that free education, who then go on to the other levels or other classes, well, guess what? For the most part, you were conditioned to serve in some aspect of the system, whether in hospitality, which is housekeeping, basically what it is. We call it hospitality. You know, it sounds a little better, but it's just servitude. So the free education they're talking about that the Barbadian society benefited from is servitude. You were taught how to be a better servant. That's all it is, quite frankly. The one or two that go through and go a little higher, you know, they serve the interests of the all, but that's not a conversation. But I heard it talk about putting solar panels on each house in Barbados and even wind turbines. Listen to me very carefully, Barbados. I did not hear the Prime Servant talk about no form of recycling these photo panels when they go kaburt or crack or when they go kaput or when they just expire, because they don't last forever. They don't last forever. As a matter of fact, internationally, you get 15 to maybe 20 years from these panels. But you know, the ones they send to the Caribbean don't always be the best. You know, the Caribbean is get what left. We ain't going to even get into the quality. Look at the vehicles on the road. They bring in the most basic model and sell you as if it's the brand fully loaded. But anyhow, another conversation. So don't expect these panels that come in to last indefinite. That's not the reality. But I did not hear them talk about how we going to get rid of all this waste we are creating by going to this renewable energy. We got to get rid of it somehow, but I ain't hear them mention that part. Nevertheless, they talk about batteries and wind turbines. Listen, family. Wind turbines kill birds. Just in case people don't realize that. Birds, thousands, I mean, the amount of birds that die in these larger countries that have a lot of these wind turbine farms, birds are chopped up left, right, and center. We can't afford to lose the birds. I mean, it does sound good when they talk. It does sound real eloquent for those who are not aware. But if you're a thinking person, if you're a person of thinking, like you can't just be tricked into would that sound like a good idea? If you're not aware of stuff, then some of these initiatives will captivate you, man. Hoodwink you, hook, line, and sinker. And you'll probably buy into it and go ahead and put your money into bonds. That up to now, people who got bonds ain't getting them back. But that's another conversation as well. You know, trust the government, not the bank. That's crazy, but which the government do regulate the banks, although the banks robbing you, and the government does nothing to stop that, but they're telling you to trust them instead. Madness. You can't make this stuff up. The audacity to stand there and say this to the public as if people are ignorant. But that's when you ain't got no opposition, right? Put me in there for a minute and let me see what happened. Mr. Speaker, are you listening? Because even you sit there listening to this, you can't say, "But hold on a minute, that don't make no sense." You don't have the power to say that. Like you just sit there. So when you say, "Mr. Speaker," you don't really speak, do you, Mr. Speaker? I calling y'all out, man. Look, man, for real, Mr. Speaker, calling you out, man. Mr. Speaker, you can't speak. You can't say, "But hold on a minute," but that ain't really making a sense. Make that make sense, man. Solar wind turbines to kill all the rest of blackbirds and little sparkies and doves we got both here. Come on, man. Y'all ain't thinking. Talk to Mr. Green, Blue, Marine, whatever. Humphrey. I already get Humphrey the program. He know what time it is, man. Go listen to the program on VOB. We already discussed it. Y'all behind. As far as the batteries, though, now where you think Barbadians gonna get this money from for you? You plan to get this money to people? I mean, if you're gonna be getting real money like that, let me discuss how you're gonna really put this money to good use. Right now, our main priority is food security. And maybe I missed that section of the budget. Maybe I missed that part. So please, if somebody have that the time frame, let me know, because I'm not going to sit there and watch that whole thing at all. I ain't dying my speed. I can't just sit there and listen to that crap. That do something to me, man. Like, ugh. But anyhow, food security. My thing is, I didn't hear nothing about the Auditor General report, which is funny because you talk about how you going to spend money, but the money from last year is still missing. So how you going to be spending more money when the money from last year and the year before is still missing, unaccounted for, and this has not been no real auditing going on in some ministries because the paperwork just don't even exist. You got to kind of speculate as to what really happened and what really went on. I mean, really and truly though, talk to me, man. Why you ain't mention the finances that was missing, how you plan to recoup that? You talk about bonds and how much you can make if you put your money in bonds versus the bank interest. But wait a minute. What happened to the missing money? What about that money? The taxpayers' money. Yeah, you know, the money, the same money you're looking for to put into this bond thing. $800 million you talking about. We got over $1 billion missing. We don't need no bonds from no citizens in Barbados. The enslaved in Barbados. The ignorant in Barbados. You don't need their money. You need to find the money y'all stole already. That's what you need to find. And hold people accountable. But you see, you can't really hold people accountable because we in that sort of society. Corruption does run things wrong here. That's why you can see the things going on, and don't nobody want to say nothing. And as the Rastaman come and say something, man, he's smoking, man. He prickling, man. He just vexed with the system, man. He vexed with the system. How we vex with the system? Everybody know that the system right here is corrupt. Barbados is one of the most corrupt. I mean, let me show you how corrupt Barbados really is. Let me show you all real quick. Let me just touch this real quick. Let me touch this real quick. Let me do this real quick. Now, this wasn't my plan. Let me see. Protocols. You gotta follow protocols, right? The illusion of inclusion. Let me show you what the illusion of inclusion is. Let me share this here real quick. Look, go tell a friend and tell a friend. This right here is the real budget right now. Go tell a friend, man. I'm telling you. Let me share this real quick. Go tell a friend and tell a friend. Let me share this real quick. Let me tell you why Barbados is so corrupt. Check this out. And I give thanks to the people that made this possible because I didn't have access to it initially. But I definitely, let me just put this out here so you can see it. This is the fuel prices across the region. This is on March the 7th, 2022. Unfortunately, I don't see St. Vincent on here, but maybe that's a good reason. But anyhow, that's irrelevant at this point. I want you all to take a look at this very carefully. Very, very, very carefully. These prices, matter of fact, hold on. If you can see this clearly, give me some feed for, like I said, because normally I don't know. Y'all's got to talk to me. I don't like this thing where, y'all watching and don't talk. I want some feed forward. Talk to me. That's like you being in a group chat. And yeah, I saying this on purpose. You in a group chat. You got 100 people in this group chat, but it's only 10 people that are always talking. Don't nobody else say nothing. It's like, well, come on, man. Come on, man. Why are you here? At least you see a post, at least say, this is interesting. At least say that, if nothing else. Well, that's very thought-provoking. Or share your thoughts on something. Don't just watch. We don't need watchers. Watchers like people who have faith and don't work. It is dead. It is dead. If you're not, you like keep to yourself and certain, you ain't gonna do much. A little good morning, greetings, grand raise. It ain't gotta be being asked you to write the dissertation. Do something. Just don't do nothing. I'm just saying that. But since you can see this clear, I give thanks, Jarvis and family. Give thanks. I want you all to scroll down. The price is right here in US dollar. And it starts with the countries with the least, then it goes up to the most expensive. And Venezuela, for obvious reason, they have oil. Haiti, gas prices in Haiti is $0.632, 63 cents in this case, per I suppose this is gallon. I suppose it's per gallon. Even if it's gallon liter, the point I want to make is Trinidad, who has oil again, 85 cents. The 4 small and 5. I was paying attention. Dominica, 92 cents. Guyana, 93 cents. Suriname, 94. St. Lucia is $1.13. Well, 14 cents. And Grenada is 122. But look at Puerto Rico, Cayman Islands, Bahamas. Dominica Republic is $1.41, give or take. Jamaica, Aruba, Belize. But look who down here with one of the highest prices, if not the highest price in the Caribbean. $2. $2. Which equates to $4 and change in Barbados, which people who've been buying gas know that already. But tell me something. This ain't crazy. We need to be buying gas. Look, we need to buy gas from these other countries and find out where they're getting it from, because whoever we're buying gas from charging us way more than the rest of the countries. This is ridiculous, family. You don't feel this is ridiculous, or it's just me? It might just be me. It might just be me. It might just be me, man. I'm just saying. This ain't ridiculous, family. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. This right here is crazy. Crazy as ever, man. I mean, but again, we just allow it because we sit back and we call them brass tacks and listen to them. I mean, we call them brass tacks and and brass tacks is a government program. So their job is to appease you and give you some rational solution or some rhetoric that soothes the pain. It's like saying, but don't worry about the wound right there, man. Just put a band-aid upon it, man. Here, look, take this, what do you call it? Codeine painkiller. So although you took the codeine painkiller, yeah, you ain't feel the pain, but the wound still wide open. Ain't even got the dressing upon it. You're going to bleed to death. But the codeine can make you not feel it. You see, so all brass tacks give you is codeine. It gives you codeine painkillers, man. Brass tacks is a painkiller program. It just numbs you. But this is politically incorrect. We ain't dealing with that science. We're doing a whole different program right here. That's why I'm telling y'all, family, this thing is crazy. You can't make this up. But do me a favor real quick, though. Don't get tapped with it. Go and check this out real quick. Write these 2 links down. This is important, critically. So let me just go ahead and pull them up real quick first. This being 1, and I think this being 2. Yeah. I'm going to give you these 2 links right now, family. Just write them down. Go do your research. Don't listen to Manuel and Politically Incorrect. Go and look them for yourself. This is the first one I'm going to give you. Let me share this one real quick. Let me go to the top. Write this down, family. Write this down. Gasoline prices per liter of March 7th of March 2022. Write this site down. Go write that name down. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me just go ahead and do that as well. Just copy it and let me just drop it in the chat directly. Flam, we got to stop playing with these people, man. I mean, you see what's going on. You understand what's going on. I mean, get with somebody or get with a group that making progress. We can't just sit back and wait and figure, well, let me hope that things work out. Write these gas prices. Write this site down. Go and check out the prices and keep track of it. This is one I'm giving you. Once you have that, go ahead and give me some feed forward. The next one I'm going to give you is one more. Let me go and give you that one quick. So you have the information. Tell a friend and tell a friend, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Different sources, man. Check this one out as well. Petrol prices of March 9th. Go check this site out. Go check it out. See for yourself as well as usual. I'm also going to post this in the link, the chat right there. Simultaneously, you could click on it. You'll find it. You know what's going on. So if you didn't get it, you got it still anyhow. But make sure y'all pay attention to what's going on with these prices, because oil prices mean bus fare going up inevitably. And if the prices keep going up, bus fare going up, food going up. We already know the whole story, which brings us back to our earlier statement: food security. Who's going to feed us? Tonight, we got a special guest again joining us from right next. So I can't say guest because you got the family. Go in the guest. We ain't guessing who it is. The family from next door come to spend a little time with us. So we going to hook it up like that. And one of the things we got to be cognizant of is really and truly, like I said, the times we're living in. The times we're living in. I think that is what is most important. Not recognizing that it's going to cause us to make some decisions, man, that, you know, that's going to really catch us off guard. So, you know, we got to pay attention to things going on. If you're into farming and gardening, tell a friend and tell a friend. And we'll be right back after this little break right quick. Yes, join us tonight all the way from all the way from next door is the Elder Rasta. Yes, Bishai, Ras Bishai. Welcome again. Incorrect, where we get it correct. Welcome.
Welcome, family. Welcome, my brother. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Man, it's my honor.
As I would say, among the most awoke people in the Caribbean right now, your audience.
Gee, Don Brad. Listen, you say that. Well,
I got coming from here, my brother. Listen, I listen to almost everything in the region.
Wow.
Your audience is about the most awoke audience in the Caribbean right now.
Wow. Listen, we humbly, bayete. We receive it. But I've been on your program, and I know your people ain't sleeping either. So I gotta say this.
No, not sleeping.
Warrior, listen, this is Warrior season. There's an artist in Barbados called LRG. He's from the Pine. Big up to the Pine, by the way. Shout out to the whole Pine and the academic crew. He has a song called Final Warrior. You know, we are the final warriors, man, because if we don't draw a line now and save the youths, it done. I mean, that's just the reality. It done. So we here to discuss food security in the Caribbean, I know, and, you know, who's going to feed us? And that's a critical question. And I want to send this. Somebody need to send this to Indar, where all the ministers in the Caribbean, even my brother in Dominica, send this link to the Minister of Agriculture. Send it to the one in St. Lucia, the one in St. Vincent. Shout out to Saborto, by the way, and the one here in Barbados. You know, where is Indar? You know, send it to him as well, because they need to understand this thing. You know, because when there's an old saying, when the poor have nothing left to eat, they'll eat the rich. So I hope they fully grasp that. You know. But welcome again, man. It's always good to have you joining us.
Yes, my brother. Welcome.
Food security. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on it?
Let me just tell this brother something.
Yes.
My brother, on the line, I am on Politically Incorrect. You are up there, so just join the right in Barbados. Just join the live stream, and everything will be okay. Talk to you later. Right, that's a very important brother was speaking here.
Yes, nice.
Good night again, family. Now, what's my take? Repeat the question. Repeat it.
Well, for security, because the reality is this. You know, the whole Ukraine thing going on, the whole COVID. First of all, COVID disrupts stuff already. COVID already disrupts stuff. The cost of shipping goods right now, I think the price went up again. I heard Biden complaining about the cost of shipping. It's a big issue. Goods ain't moving. And this is before the Ukraine situation or the Ukraine situation. We call it a situation, really and truly. So with all this going on, how does the Caribbean, what do you think the Caribbean is in store? What's in store rather for the Caribbean in the next coming months and years?
Okay, great. Grateful for the opportunity to respond to that. Now, listeners, family, problem plus context equals opportunity. We have a problem. You just heard the brother speaking about it, and you can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will try to outline the context now in deep. But right now, you heard about the increased prices of fuel in the region. And it's not too far from your prices that the prices are here in Europe. Not too far. It seems like they have some hydraulic spring that they just go up every day. A little higher, you know? So the people realizing that. And the context right now in the region, in the world, and I'm stating from a couple hours ago, an official position put out by one of the highest organizations in the Western world. It says, just a small part I'll read. Rising global demand for agricultural commodities for use as food, feed, and bioenergy. And I add to that medicine. It's putting pressure on the land. The pressure on the land is increasing. So that is the context, right? And the article is actually calling for an increase in agricultural output. Now, this question and this reason comes at the prime time because they, as you will call them, the prime servants, and some of our people here call them the misleaders in the CARICOM. If we can still say it community, ain't reach anywhere at CARICOM, had their annual get-together in Belize. And just the nature and the aesthetics of where they had this get-together show you that they're not with the people. Somebody from Belize called me and told me that they went on an exclusive island just off the coast of the mainland, which is a private resort. Away from everybody else and had their tete-a-tete. So you know that they think that they're different than the masses of the people. That's one.
They had the little powwow.
Right.
Okay.
Now, since 2018, these talking heads, as the Calypsonian and St. Vincent called them years ago, talking heads, that's all they do, have been speaking about the same thing we are speaking tonight about food security. I have listened to that. They have not moved 1 foot forward. They just marking time in the same place. Marking time.
Agreed.
Left, right, but they're not marching. So now it's March, and we the people have to march. We can't wait for them. The Regional Food Import Bill. This is their figures I'm using from that meeting. For 2020 was $4 billion US, 8 billion Barbados dollars. 8 billion Barbados dollars.
Food import bill.
The food import bill. 10.8 billion Eastern Caribbean dollars. 4 billion US dollars. Okay?
Wow.
That is what we're struggling. That is what we buying food with from outside. Outside of CARICOM, mainly.
Jeez, John, man. Man, you're gonna upset some folks tonight. I could tell that already.
Well, if you do a simple arithmetic,
right,
and you take the total population of the CARICOM countries, right, and you divide that 4 billion by that, you will see how much weight it is on each individual head, even the toddlers.
Wow.
They're carrying that weight too.
Wow.
If you do it per capita, you will see what the food input is. Right?
I fully get you. I already visualizing, man.
Okay, my brother, right.
Child,
now we have plenty to say, so I'm not going into too much detail in these things. I'm just giving people the whole outskirt. So the problem is that with the context of the war going on in the world, and there are many more wars to come. There are many more wars to come, all different types. That is just one version of a war, you know. We just had a COVID war here that went down a bit.
Yep.
And we still having the after effects.
Yep.
You just had a little war. You still having a war up there as South the Party Caribbean where they're destroying the hub and telling you it's drugs. Now, we ain't going into that detail tonight, but that's a war.
Serious.
And we also have a war of health because a large percentage of our female population in the Caribbean in particular has become obese, especially over the last 20 years.
And we have sadly normalized it. We have sadly, to our own detriment, normalized obesity.
Right. And most of it is directly tied to this food import bill.
That's right.
That is what the regional health services have said. I'm just repeating what they're saying.
But can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
You speak about war, right? What we don't realize that there's a greater war at stake here, which is the war on us using food as a weapon. And we have not realized it because the food has been weaponized. The food doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you healthier. All the food that they bring in and supply to you and allow these different chains to bring in and supply directly, I mean, it directly is an attack on your personal health, the health of your children, even down to the formulas, what you call it, the instant formulas, is a detriment to the child.
Definitely so. So when we speak of food security, we speak of numerous securities entwined in that food security.
That's right.
Because without food, food comes from agriculture, and without agriculture, there is no other culture. Take up without agriculture. In agriculture has to be the bone.
Deep.
Let me just show you how that happens in a little sentence right now in the same war. In 2012 to 2014, when Russia faced the first set of sanctions, right? Russia suffered. The ruble tumbled. The foreign debt went up. They had little food. They decided that they are going to, Russia was importing 40% of its food.
Yep.
Food importation percentage of 40%. They decided that nobody going to catch us again. They put money from the petroleum and the high-tech industry into agriculture. Billions of dollars and efforts. They modernize it. Today, Russia is the biggest wheat exporter in the world.
Yep.
Russia has food reserves that could last them for over a year, and so they could always put sanctions on Russia. Russia have food, and they're still growing.
They're not worried about that.
So when you have food security in that form, you could withstand any sort of disaster, man-made or otherwise. And most of the disasters these days are man-made.
Gee, Don, Brad, this is crazy.
Okay? So we have some man-made disasters coming our way. So we have to have a disaster preparedness mentality and training in order to ensure that we have food security in this region. And it cannot be left to these governments, these primes. No, we the people. That's why I love the tune you play there. We have to find love, and we have to find unity, and we have to make that collective security right there.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
So if we don't have collective security, we can't build food security because we need each other in the region.
That's right.
We must be on one vibe.
You know, there was a
From
UN...
Belize way out there, to Bahamas up the road, to Suriname down the road, to Barbados also. That whole...
One Caribbean.
One perfect balance, man.
One perfect balance. It's funny, I mean, you think about it though, realistically speaking, the Caribbean can sustain itself. I mean, it is so easily, and the thing is, it is so easily and can be done like in 1, 2, 3. The reason why it has not happened yet, you're going to have to ask yourself is, what role these prime servants and their minions play in stagnating the progress of the people? Because ever so often they give us the impression that they're leading us, but what they never tell us is where they're leading us to. Remember the gas chambers? It's okay to be led by a group of people, especially security forces, because you could think for a second, people recognizing that people going in that little, you telling me there's a shower, people going in there and then coming out. I mean, you know, they're never coming back for their property. You at some point, somebody would say, well, wait, something right here making a sense, you know, this ain't adding up. But yet, because of security forces, people become paralyzed, become fearful. And when you are fearful or full of fear, you stop thinking. Fear doesn't allow you to think, you know. It stops you from thinking, you know. So right now we have a society, we have people who are not thinking. And that is what they're banking on. That's what they're depending on. That's why programs like this, programs like yours and many others throughout the region are what they would try to, keep to a certain minimum, because the minute the people start realizing that information is flowing and people start becoming aware of what's happening, you ain't got to change is going to happen.
True.
Because food security is a priority. How you ain't focusing on how you going to eat, you think that you're going to keep going to a supermarket and whatever else, and they're going to always be there. You take it for granted. You take food for granted. There's actually a clip that talks about organic farming, which is another conversation. You talk about war. Even the food that we grow in the islands, for the most part, is infected and targeted by pesticides, by herbicides, by all kind of sides. Because when the food then absorbs this poison, and you consume this food that has been absorbing this poison, well, naturally, it has an effect on you. Dementia.
There's a phrase I want you to make note of. I want the audience to make note of this phrase. It came from one of the most awoken brothers in the United States just Sunday. He's a trained, qualified psychologist, psychiatrist. Okay. The phrase is called cognitive paralysis. Cognitive paralysis. You write that down. Cognitive paralysis. COGNITIVE PARALYSIS. Cognitive paralysis. Now, what is interesting about this is that this is a condition brought on to our melanated people over the last couple decades by the food they eat, the weaponized food, right, and the misinformation they've been getting from the media and from all the other places that they go. And I'm not offending anyone, right? But a lot of them come in a lot of religious and social circles, the misinformation.
It's true.
So we have to detoxify our minds or everything. But here what is causes? Hey, what is causes the main cause of this cognitive paralysis? It makes you choose not to think.
Wow. Wait. Say that again. Say that again.
This is not an accident, This is a planned program of the other side, the darkness.
The food is what caused you to become docile.
Docile. All you have is energy to work for the system, but you don't think.
And you barely have that energy. Come home from work, man, you're so tired, you can't even help the children with homework. It's like no use to yourself, man.
Because the different pressures it put on you. You have, even though you wanted to think, you have no time to think. You have to study the effects of this thing.
Cognitive paralysis.
Okay.
Wow.
So we have to avoid that, and we have to cleanse and heal our people who are suffering from that.
Yes.
At the same time.
Agreed.
At the same time. So in terms of our food security, there are several pillars in which we have to build that. One, collective security. And that's a law of the Imperial Majesty and Empress Menen. That is what was practiced in Ethiopia. Collective security.
That's what we need now, though.
Right. And what I'm saying, the way I see this being exercised in the region, when you find mediums like this one, you are doing a marvelous job here. We use media like this to connect with like people.
Wow, I give thanks.
Each
like
person,
you.
each territory, each grouping of persons meet in their respective areas and formulate their programs. And then we come here, somebody, and present it, and we harmonize.
Nice. I love it.
Would have common threads, but because we are living in slightly different cultures, there is where the innovativeness, the innovation comes in. So you have a frame, but you innovate it to fit your specific condition.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. I like it. But that's the whole point, though, you know, because you do that, I do that, the brother in Dominica. And again, shout out to Dominica. Dominica.
Big up Dominica. Bug up Dominica.
St.
Lovely
Lucia,
country, man. Lovely people.
Dad, and we start to network and connect like that. Then
right.
Web, I was saying it the other day, the web, when you're a bunch of scattered dots, all isolated individually, nothing can happen. But by creating our own web, our own net in the region, we could then expand outward. But initially, it has to start at home. It has to start with self and expand outward. It has to. There's no other way that's going to happen.
Now, let me use the same poultry data to explain as an example how this thing could work. Taking them, and you see, word is word, song, and power, as every Rastafari know, right? So the CARICOM, the head of the CARICOM agriculture ministers is the Minister of Agri from Guyana.
Oh, right? I know that. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, he's the head. That is what the correspondents told me. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now, he has said, and he is speaking for the entire CARICOM, what he's saying is a collective decision that they are going to reduce the food import bill by 25% by 2025. That's 2 years and a little couple months down the road. What we supposed to do, we are woke people, is to form ourselves into collectives, groupings, right? Register ourselves not as a part of the cooperative. That is why we have to learn, and we could learn it quick.
Yes.
Right?
The language.
What's called indigenous law. As a matter of fact, I have to send a link to you where there are 2 courses running right now. 2 courses online.
Yes. The law on liberty. The law of liberty.
Focus, right. We learn that, and it's international. We register our groupings similarly in each country. So you're not asking these governments for anything. We're telling them what we are going to do and what we need, because they are prime servants. They have to provide that.
That's right. That's right.
They're They're not setting our paradigm.
I see you know what going on.
Our paradigm.
I see you know what going on.
Because their paradigm is warfare.
That's right.
I learned a new word yesterday.
What's that?
You know what? You heard about warfare, you heard about warfare. So have you ever heard about lawfare?
Lawfare?
LAWFAI, not FAIR, FAI.
Okay.
They have been using that, and that is what they're using right in Barbados with that same drug bust they're talking about. They have been using law, what they call law, which is not law. Legal.
That's right.
Legal instruments.
That's right.
Right?
I agree.
False law.
Meanwhile, there's a man growing marijuana on the west coast, growing it and shipping it. And nobody integrated his stuff because, you know, the government gave him permission. But you ain't had the permission.
That is what they're creating there, that we need to get a permission from them to grow a plant.
A plant.
Which is a blessed plant, which came here, which none of them made.
Permission to grow a plant.
Which none of them made. No country made this plant.
As if they have the rights to it.
Exactly. Just now, we might have to have a permission to grow more than 2 breadfruit trees in our yard.
Listen, in some parts of New York, not New York, in America, it's illegal to harvest water, rainwater. You can't catch rainwater. If you can't store rainwater, you can't harvest rainwater. It's illegal. You hear what I know tell you?
Yeah.
You cannot harvest your own rainwater. Now again, right? The writing is on the wall. Those who have eyes to see, let them see, and those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Who's going to feed the Caribbean? Because although the minister said, you said 25%.
That is what they said.
He's not thinking about, as a matter of fact, I want to read a quote. He's not thinking about organic, you know. There's a scientist, a farmer, I don't remember his name right now, and I'll actually work on getting it before the program is over. He said, and at the time he wrote this, which is over maybe a decade ago, he said, there are 6 billion people on the planet today. with organic farming, we could only feed 4 billion of them. The question he's asking is, which 2 billion would volunteer to die? Because here's the scenario, and this is where this gets real complicated. You use the pesticides to grow food commercially, you make people sick, they die. You use organic methods to produce food right now. We can only produce, according to him, enough to feed 4 billion people out of the 6, which now I think is almost 7 billion people. So the question he's asking is, where the 2 billion people are going, who's going to volunteer to die? Because the reality is, his thing was, we cannot use chemicals on the foods. It is warfare. He said it clean. It is warfare. Those chemicals will kill you over a period of time. You destroy. Here's the other part. It's a war on you. It's a war on the earth. It's a war on animals. It's a war on the air that you breathe. It's a war on the water that you drink. We cannot continually practice farming in the way we have been doing it in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 decades. There has to be a change. And the only change is organic or natural farming. But the issue with that equation is that, like he said, we can only produce enough food to feed about, 3/4 of the people. The question he's asking, in other words, like a third of the population is going to have to go, whether they eat the food that is poison or not. Because reality, if we keep using chemicals, we're destroying not just people who eat pesticides and these herbicides and stuff. We're poisoning the water, we're poisoning the soil, we're poisoning the air, we're poisoning the insects, and we're poisoning the animals. So eventually, we all gonna go. So we have to go to organic farming. This sort of, if we have no choice at this point. We don't have a choice. But with this approach, there's only so much we could do. So when it comes to the Caribbean, not these bigger countries with millions of people, just the Caribbean region, who is going to feed us?
Well, let me answer that and then start to show how we get to them.
Yeah.
Young generation right now, main plus a few of the other people around who are going to show them the way. They are going to. That is why at the center of this thing, food security is not something you could achieve tomorrow. When they say 25% in the next 2 and 3 years, food import bill, 25% would not guarantee food security.
No.
That 25% could be achieved without really tackling food security.
Exactly. I'm glad you noticed that.
We are not going there. We're not going to 25%. Because they're going to pat themselves on the shoulder and say, oh, yeah, we did that. And they might hurt some people in doing that. What we have to do is to produce as much food as is possible in the Caribbean, but more nutritious food.
There you go.
And while what the brother is saying is correct to an extent, he is saying it without taking into consideration. His mind hasn't reached too far to say, well, look, we could produce the same volume of food, but it will have a higher nutritional content. So one bread will now feed 3 people, whereas one bread is now feeding 1.5 people.
Okay.
That's possible. And that is the kind of science that I am engaging now with people working, because the smallest organisms in the earth right now are the most powerful, microbes.
That's right.
So
that's right.
In natural farming, we have been working on that, and this is one of the things we hope to be bringing to the Caribbean this year. But we also need the organization of the people. We are working on microbial products, which will intensify the nutrient density of whatever you're growing. You're growing a lettuce, you have to eat a head or 6 leaves or 5 leaves to feel satisfied. You might only need 2.5 or 3. You get the same food value and nutrient density and satisfaction like if you had eaten before.
Nice.
Okay?
Nice.
So you could now share your lettuce, that same quantity of lettuce, with someone else. So even if the population doubles or more than doubles, the food in terms of volume doesn't necessarily have to double. That's one. The second, that's the quality of the food. The second thing is that we are operating in the Caribbean at, especially in these small islands, at best 50 to 55% of our productive capacity or efficiency. Meaning to say, what you can get from an acre of land, despite we have coming to these organizations and not doing anything just now. We are only getting 50 or 55% of what is optimally possible there right now, given the technology we have. So like if you were getting 1,200 pounds of 2,000, 20,000 pounds of tomatoes from an area, an acre,
then the yield.
The average, it's possible to get 40 to 45,000
yield. But
the yield itself.
But that has been restricted because of the exploitation of the earth.
Nobody want to replenish. Exactly. Right. So that is one of the securities that is one aspect of the security you have to look at, the replenishment.
That's right.
The security of the fertility of the soil.
That's right.
That's our security. The soil, that's our security too.
Of course.
Then you have the security, very important, of tenure. If we, the people in the Caribbean, and most of the people who you and I speak to, do not have ownership to make a decision to farm this piece of land, and who can produce the food? Where we can grow it? We can't grow it in the sea. So the politicians saying one thing, but they don't want to face the obvious that we must have agrarian land reform in the region.
Listen, the brother from South Africa, I mean, a lot Malema. Malema has his flaws. He was ANC. He swear he'd never leave and start a party, but yet he did. But I won't get into all that background. The point he has about land in terms of, well, he doesn't use the word repossession, but reappropriation of the land. Because the reality is, as indigenous people, we have worked the land for a long time. The problem we have right now, why you don't see people really getting up and backing what you say or backing what I say when it comes to land and our agriculture or our agriculture, is because the crime of enslavement happened on the land. So there's a bitter taste. You talk about farming and agriculture, man, I ain't doing that, man, but I ain't about that there buying it. But it's such
very important point.
But listen, what we don't realize that we had always had a connection from the beginning. The first rule the Father tell Adam, if you use the Bible, they tell the soil, that's yours. That's yours. Do it. Now, that's you.
That is so important what you just said. That phobia they have in them.
Fear.
That resentment. That we have to find.
We have to.
Yeah, we have to find a solution to the pollution.
Have to. And
the way I look at that is a multifaceted solution in that the sense that one, we have to find an agricultural system, as you just said, which replenishes the soil. That's one.
Yes.
Two, we have to give people, remember they were working, not their own, they never owned that land, so they didn't have that kind of.
But that's my point. So they
article connection to the land.
No, when it's yours though, it's a different feeling.
So it comes to like, this is my breadfruit tree. This is my factory. I have to operate it to live. Right? And then the other thing now is to modernize the farming system, the technology itself, the tools and so on.
Right.
To take the drudgery of the people so they don't remember the tools they used to work when they were enslaved. A different thing. So we're adding technology now to the production system. So and then the education comes with that. Now, while on this point, I must say that our institutions in the region have failed us tremendously. Our higher institutions. Take, for example, our Faculty of Agriculture. Established since the 19...
Pardon me.
I think it was the early 1960s, St.
Mm-hmm.
Augustine, Trinidad. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Was the Imperial College of Tropical Agriculture and then became the University of the West Indies. Apart from that, there's also on campus right there a natural sciences faculty, an engineering faculty. So you have all these skills right there.
Wow.
Tell me which tool you see in Barbados that has been made from the University of West Indies to suit our small farmers today. Name one tool.
Our prime servant just declared she's going to create opportunities for the scientists and these innovators now to have opportunities to work on ideas. So, you know, she promised that she's going to put money towards that. So maybe we can get some tools coming out in the not too distant future. Listen, man, the funny thing is it don't take rocket science. I know a farmer up the road. He ain't got the university or that. And he's a welder. He's a welder. The way he has developed and engineered ideas to help his farming and make it more efficient is like, you know what? You need to start patenting these things and making tools, brother, man, because this thing working. Innovative. Shout out to Sean, by the way. Gotta give you a big up for sure, man. But I say that to say that the people, like you said, when you start to replenish the soil, because that's also figuratively in terms of replenishing people, because when you get to know yourself and get rid of all the pesticides and poisons that we have been fed ourselves, just like the soil, and put the right nurturing, right nutrients inside, the right microbes, the right bacteria, and build back the system, then you can start to get in love again with nature. Being warm with nature. So when you touch the soil now as ownership, when you touch the soil, yes, period. But especially when it's ownership, there's a love relationship. The first woman a man should have in his life is land. The first woman, the first female, let me put it that way. Let me use feminine, because the first love for feminine energy should be the land, because with the land now, you can build a family, because now you could feed your family. You could feed your family. You could develop, you could build, you could do things with this land. Anytime a man starts farming, he's looking to build a nation. Why? Because he can feed and provide for his. When you can't feed and you can't provide, the frustration, the anxiety, the worry, you start thinking about crime, you start thinking about doing things you ain't supposed to be doing, start thinking about abnormal behavioral patterns, because the reality as a man, you want to provide for yours, not to run to the supermarket and go to buy this and buy that. You want to be able to provide, and land is means to do so. So you're right. And on top of that, using the technology rather than thinking, look, man, I'm gonna give you a joke. I think it was you telling me this too. I was always trying to figure out how the elders did it back in the days. Well, a hoe and a fork. All right, well, I start my organic project, but I put down the horny fork and I trying everything else. And man, getting licks, man. The day I took that hoe for the first time, man, I started to weed with it. I mean, it was so effective, right? It was way better than pulling grass. It was so effective. I got carried away. I was hoeing up and down the drenches. I got the front. I was hoeing everywhere, just chopping up everything. Okay. Man, look. The next day or two, I thought 3 or 4 or 5, the muscles start telling me, listen, hey, it only looks simple here. It only looks simple, but the hoe is effective in cleaning up the ground. I mean, right. The fork alone, I mean, it's like the big tractor and stuff, we really don't need it, You really don't need it.
We have small holdings here. We not that
need it,
we have,
there's ways.
What we need, the kind of hoe we need, is a hoe which doesn't put strain on you.
Right.
It's more efficient because the blade now is made from a different type of material which is sharp.
Yep.
And durable. Yep. So when you cut, it real cuts.
Pull
you understand?
Bring the root out one time. No more weeds ain't growing. Exactly. Not that weed.
Now, there are 2 countries that I would tell you that have revolutionized the agriculture in the last 25 years tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
One is a heavy, 2 of them are, one is a very heavy industrialized country, but they put a lot into their farming. Japan.
Japan.
I have a Japanese tool, weeding tool, a hand weeding tool that someone sent to me. I have it now about 2.5 months. My brother, if it wasn't for that tool, I couldn't do 55% of the work I do now. And these are simple things, and they
You
have
gotta
them
send me a
left-handed
picture.
and right-handed.
You gotta
That's
send
what
a
I'm
picture.
thinking about, okay?
You gotta send a picture.
Definitely. The Indians, they have made small walk behind tractors. They
Yeah.
have made, not big tractors, they have major focus.
Like
And they have,
handheld cultivators.
right, they teach their children, their people in school how to make these things, the whole mathematics of it, the physics and so on, so that they will produce good engineers and people who will take care of them down the road, because you must have that continuity.
Right. True.
Not
True.
one off, right?
True.
So we don't have to start making them here. We could start teaching the sciences in the university, but we could now link with countries like them, send some students there on practical things, and let them learn to make them there until we have the facilities in the region to make them. But those are the things I'm talking about.
But I agree. And the funny thing is, I mean, as you were speaking, right? Me personally, as an engineer, well, as well, creative. I can't say I went to school studied engineering, but as you were speaking, I'm even seeing how you could take a small engine, and the gears, like a differential, will work the same way in terms of the blades put together, and that you said designing equipment and then having it fabricated. We got bauxite in Guyana, we got bauxite in Jamaica, Trinidad. There's material, there's raw material in the region again. We don't have to import that from China. We got the material right here in the Caribbean. We could create molds, fabricate the metal, create our mold casts and whatnot. And it is just simple. It really is that simple.
Yes, we have bauxite and we have the energy. Trinidad, Guyana now coming energy, Suriname have energy. Plus, a lot of these implements now, especially the weed eaters and so on now, they are making them now with batteries that could be used with solar power.
Wow.
You want any place have more solar energy than Barbados across there?
The Caribbean,
if we really want to invest in
perfect.
You know? So what you might need is just a 4-hour charge a day, to do something, You have 4 hours charge on a battery. You know the amount of work you could do in your garden at 4 hours?
Gee,
with a tool like that?
You making sport, man. Wow.
And then you go on to do something else. So that is it. Then the energy security, that's it. And we tie the energy security into the fertilizers, the inputs that we put in our soil. Again, which the region has everything we need.
I agree.
We just need to know the know-how. We just need to teach the ones the practical aspects of it.
The how. I agree.
How, right?
There's a thing called River Tamarind in Barbados. You might know it by a different name. I don't know. It's called River Tamarind. It's like it looked like a tamarind except it's flat. It grows well. The leaves on River Tamarind is high in nitrogen. I mean, you can want the more nitrogen. So even in terms of, it grows well, but to harvest that, take the leaves. Even if we take the leaves from River Tamarind.
I know it's a legume. I know that plant.
Yes, and create a formula, a liquidized formula that you could then spray over the soil to put that nitrogen back into the soil. I mean, as an idea, just in one, right there again, is a product. We got River Tamarind growing all over. You ain't got to even look for it. Just walk out and you could just chop leaves and start. You know what? I'm going to create that formula. As I'm speaking, I'm putting it out there right now. If you copy it, then no problem. It's all love. No problem. But that's an idea, because like you said, there's so much we can do. The brother said that they closed down the industry, from schools, which is true, because the idea is not to have us industrial, not to be creative.
That's it. That is why we have to. That brings us to the next security now. Knowledge security.
Education.
Right, knowledge security. This is security, And we have to change. That is why we have to completely change and modify and modernize the entire education syllabus, curriculum in the entire CARICOM region. We can't leave it to these people. They will continue to miseducate our youth.
That's right. That's right. That's right. The sister said that they did that so they could walk us right into slavery.
Again.
Right, exactly. And you know what's funny? Because of the conditions right now that they're creating, the reality is they will love this situation because people are going to be so desperate for any form of help that you're liable to be willing to do anything at this point and walk blindly just, right back into Egypt. Right back into Egypt, which Egypt is just the house of bondage from a mental perspective. And I guarantee you, though, if we walk into this thing voluntary at this point, we'll never escape ever. That'll be the end of it. So no, we can't do that. So the question is, who's going to feed us? We are going to have to provide and feed ourselves.
Exactly.
We, not me, not you, not I. We.
Together.
That's right. The illusion. You see, the illusion of inclusion is they give you all these promises, all these ideas. Somebody just said to me that the government said tonight they're going to drop the gas by 20-something cents. Well, let me see. Now, check this out. You first raise it by about 30 cents. Then you drop it about 17. Then you raise it about 19 and you drop it about 13. Then you raise it about 20 and you drop it about 8. And you raise it about 50. You drop it about 25. At the end of the day, you pay more for gas than you first was paying, although you don't recognize the strategy of the meandering and the prices, the seesaw up and down. Although it's up and down, it never up and down lower than it was. It's always up and down, but you're always more than you was paying. So the little trickery again. Oh, you're going to drop it? Oh, goodness, Heavenly Father, thank God. But okay, you're still paying almost $4 for gas, though. More than the $3.25 it might have been. But you ain't seeing that. That's like saying the price. That's like saying the price of it is $19.99, not $20. $19.99. Oh, well, at least it's not $20. You see what I'm saying? It is all commercial trickery. And they play these games with the minds of the people, the intelligence of the people. Like you said, they depend on us being so much asleep that they really feel they could piss on our leg and tell us that it's rain.
That's it.
Them days done, man. Them days done. Like you said, we not asking your permission. We telling you what we're doing, and you're gonna provide accordingly. That is what you're there to do. The same way you provide for all the other cultures that come and tap into that resource. Well, we're gonna do the same thing. Those of us who know, the rest will just follow. If they don't, well, because like I always said, not everybody left Egypt and crossed the Red Sea. Some folks had a mortgage for the new house, for the new car, the new chariot with the 4 horses. They say, look, nah, man, I don't get this. I ain't leaving. So some folks gonna want to stay, which is fine. But those of us who know the way, gonna have to light the way and lead others, and others in turn will follow accordingly. And that's what we have to do. We have to feed ourselves. There's no if but about it. And we have to go about it organically. We can't use the chemicals, family.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. We have to make all our own biopesticides here because, you see, that is another, we're talking about food import bill.
Mm-hmm.
But in the days of the banana industry in St. Vincent, I used to look at the import costs of the inputs.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And then when they look at that, they say,
no one even thinking about that part.
We hardly making money from our bananas because we growing our bananas to buy these chemicals. Wow. And the most we ever made from our bananas is when we're there doing the 16 cents from a dollar, 16% of the dollar came to the Windward Islands. Everything else went out back outside.
16. Yeah, hold up, man. Hold up.
Say that every again. Banana dollar.
Right.
Before 1994, when Britain joined the single European market.
Right.
This is a university. I collaborated with the University of London and the University of Cambridge. They did a study. There were 2 Caribbean people on that study. Send the document to me. Right? warning us that we will fall off the pyramid, the top of the pyramid, when Britain joined the single European market.
Right.
We were getting 16 cents, 16% of a dollar. Every dollar, we were getting 16 cents of it.
You said they warned you?
They warned the region that we must diversify our agriculture in such a way.
Right.
Not good to go out of bananas, but to produce the bananas now more efficiently and go the more environmentally friendly into order to be competitive in the new environment. But none of the governments did that. None of them did that.
16 cents for them wasn't worth it. That's all it is. 16 cents, you know what? I'm done with that. We going into something else. Tourism.
Now, and that tourism decision was not initially made by the leaders in the Caribbean. Don't let them fool you. They're carrying out orders. This was made higher up.
This is crazy, man. I mean, you can't.
This was made higher up. They are just carrying out orders.
That's it.
In order for them to get certain concessions and trade on the cooperative international market, they have to follow that logic.
They have to follow. Yeah, I agree.
Totally. Right now, we have to establish our own new paradigm.
That's right.
And we have to establish a completely new paradigm and invoke it, which will establish genuine food security, and agricultural development architecture. I
agree.
So we have to have that architecture. If you don't have the framework for it, and it's not the similar framework around the CARICOM countries, I said we're just a little flavor. It's the framework, but in Barbados, it'll have a Barbados flavor. In Guyana, it'll have a Guyana flavor. In Trinidad, it'll have a Trinidad flavor. In Jamaica, it'll have a Jamaica flavor. But it's the same basic, at the core, is the basic framework.
I agree, totally agree. And I want to throw in the
harmonize, the vibes flowing, man.
But look, I want to throw in the middle of all that harmonizing, we need our own vessel.
All of that is involved. All of that is the development part. When we start to say to the people, what is development? There's a part of agriculture which you call a commodity systems analysis methodology. Okay, how you analyze the movement of a commodity from marketing to production. And when you start at marketing is to say that this is something consumed, this is something desired. You're not producing and hoping to sell.
Right.
It's there.
You know there's a market.
You know there's a market.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Right. So you look at the commodity and it has several different areas. You have the stage where you collect the data, the pre-planning stage, you collect all the data. Where it's coming from, how it's grown, who you're competing with, what's the price, and so on. Do you have, you do like a little SWOT analysis. Do you have the capacity to? Yes, we have the right. From the time you have that, you go on to the next phase now. The planning phase. Who is going to do what?
That's right.
Do it in detail. Who is going to do what? Where, how, what they need. Then the implementation stage. Who's going to plant it and so on. Right? The caring stage and so on. Then you go to the harvesting stage.
Who gonna harvest?
Then you go to the transportation, marketing stage. That's where the vessels come in. You do all this before you plant, you know.
That's right.
The plant stage and the whole thing.
So we need the operation from start to finish.
Right. We will need 3 ships here now to move this volume of stuff. Wow. And you start to talk, well, where will you get these ships? What type of ships you need? Blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
And you finish it. So and everybody knows what everything else is doing. Everybody knows their responsibility.
You just outlined, I mean, a complete layout of how you can just revolutionize this business in the region alone. Why is it that CARICOM or the prime servants, why they're not along that line of thinking? We got to call a spade, you know. Why they're not along that line of thinking for the interest of the people and sustainability?
Well, I would like them to answer that question. I could answer it in my way, but I want them to answer that question because what I'm thinking might not be what they are saying. So we want to hear, because right now, you know, when you utter a word, You know that when you utter a word now and it goes out there, if your word it doesn't carry weight, and when the karmic Lord comes back to you, you're under pressure. So let them say, because right now, so it's word, sound, and power. And the integrity of anybody, especially leaders, is that they have to do what they say. If you're saying something or not doing anything, you're losing the integrity, not just among the people, but where it matters, because karmic law exists.
That's right. That's right. I put this up because I did a lot of research on food security in preparation for the night. And I have a few links I'm going to share in a little while for those viewing to do their own research, also to give you an idea of what, when you talk food security, what needs to be involved. And this is one of the charts I came across, and I kept finding that food security was at the center. But in order to have food security, you have to have security, which is ensuring all people have access, having food, sufficient food to meet their dietary needs. I mean, you have to have sufficient food, full stop. The safety of it was ensuring people have healthy, this is the key though, nutritious
food
that is free from contamination or degradation. It has to be free from contamination, which means no chemicals, no GMOs, no artificial flavor, no artificial color, these different pesticides, herbicides, and all the other sides that this is about death. It can't have that. And then there's this one part here, sovereignty, which I thought was interesting. Sovereignty and food security. How does that work? It means check this out, empowering people to make their own choices about the food they eat, where it comes from, and how it is produced. You can't just give me anything. I don't want anything. Rasta liberty is certain foods I need. You can't make me eat. I don't want that. I don't eat that. So since you don't cater to the Rastafari liberty regards to food is concerned, the Rasta has to have his means of providing his own food for the sake of his own security. Period. Period. The indigenous people have to have their own means of securing their food from a sovereign perspective. Otherwise, we're begging for fish on a daily basis. And that's what that boils down to. You see what I'm saying? And that can't work. Can't work. I'm going to drop this link in the box too, because actually a lot more information. Community, food, and health. This is the funny thing. And this is from last year in the middle of COVID, 2021. But it's quite interesting to read. And I'll post this so that others can share as well in that information. But like I said, I have a few more links to share. And, as far as the governments and the prime servants are concerned, they think that we can't do this without them. Well, we're not even going to say we're going to show them. We just need to do what we need to do, full stop. Not even studying them. It's not even about them. I mean, nothing of the such.
Beautiful.
What we need to do, and we need to do what we need to do, and that's it. Can't be thinking about them and what they're focusing on and all the other madness. We just have to focus on what we need to do and just get it done. And that's the bottom line.
Well, when I look at CARICOM right now, I can see every one of them is scared, and what they're scared for, they're seeing it too. A lot of people are getting awoke. Especially among the youth. And they realize that this political system that operates in the region, this is on almost like death row right now. The countdown to doomsday for them. Fast countdown. Just now, this will become so obsolete and irrelevant. Nobody would worry it. And it doesn't take guns and so to do it.
No.
All weapons are different.
Of course. The mind. And the people will just leave them in droves. The time will come soon in a Caribbean country where they will call elections and less than 10% of the people will go to the polls. You watch and see. And they
will see how irrelevant they are in the system there.
I'm telling you, them days ain't too far. And the thing is, the implication of that is why they already doing what they're doing globally right now, because they already realize their clock is up. People are getting up according to universal time, and it's that time. Full stop. It's that time.
The water that pouring out now in this Aquarian age, the water of knowledge.
Knowledge
that is pouring out now. They can't stop it.
No, and speaking of knowledge, this is other link here I'm going to share real quick with the family. Let me go ahead and clear this out. I noticed that link didn't post just now on Facebook for some reason. Let me try to put it up again and see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it didn't post on Facebook just now, but I just put it up again so you could got it there. But let me put another one up here now, family. Let me paste this one. This is eco farming, and this is important because, again, those of you who are interested in farming and get into farming and organic farming, I'm going to try my best to provide as many links and information to you as possible, and you can do your own research. But this is some of the stuff that I came across that I find quite interesting because, again, it informs you on some of the things that you may not traditionally think is incorporated into farming. But we here in the region in the Caribbean, we have sun, unlike other countries who have climate and different fall seasons and stuff, autumn and all kind of things. We have it good. We have it good. The brother said if you live on a concrete apartment and concrete all around you, listen, even if you have decided to pave your whole house driveway, you can get some tires, some old tires, well, preferably old tires. You don't want to use this, you don't want to use new tires, but some used tires, and you can stack them. You know, if you're growing herbs, one tire should be sufficient. You don't need depth for herbs above ground. But if you're growing root crops, you can put 3 tires together, which should give you at least 2 feet, you know, give or take, depending on the size of the tire, or a little under, or even 4 tires if you can get that many. Fill it with mold. And between potatoes, yams, eddos, again, you could fill your whole corner of the house or your perimeter, your wall in the backyard or your fence or whatever with 2 layers of tires where you could reach. And believe you me, you could grow food just like that. So
exactly,
you know, they don't get tricked with the cut the barrel in half. And listen, there's many ways to do this thing if you're really serious. Or in your community, that vacant lot up the road that belong to the people that they say live overseas and over and yonder, well, here we're going on. If you can't reach them, legitimately speaking, if you can't contact the family, you can't reach nobody, here what to do. Cut the grass and plant your food. Plant your food. If the people come and see you planting food, unless they're going to bring a house and just drop it on the spot one time, let them know, look, I was using it for the sake of growing food, whatever the case is. I keep the grass down, keep it looking healthy, make sure it's not a haven for rodents to hide out or anybody else to dump trash, and create the community garden.
Here's the beauty with that. The same grass you cut,
yeah,
with a little knowledge and help, could be composted.
That's
to
right.
replenish the soil with organic matter.
That's right. So
you have a source of food for the earth right there in the grass.
That's right. This particular link has 7 basic principles for eco farming, and the biodiversity which you spoke about earlier. I mean, again, this is so interesting. The information is out there, family. Just tap into it. Like I said, I like this particular one, an eco farming revolution. And it is, again, a revolution because we are on a revolution. We think revolution, people think about blood and guns. All the revolution means is that there's a turning, there's a revolution, there's a turning of what was to what will be. And one thing you cannot do is you cannot stop a day whose time has come. You can't. You can't. Brother Bishop, Ras Bishop, before you move off, give us some parting words real quick and let us know, what's your view once we come together for the future, or not just the islands, but for the region as a whole? Once we get this together, not if, but once we get this together, what will be the outcome of such initiative being taken by the region, islands collectively? Small developing nations, they call it.
Right. The outcome will that we would be setting our own economic system in place, trading system, right? Because let us take some practical examples. Guyana grows rice, Belize grows a lot of seed oil plants like peanuts and so on. They're good in these things, right? We in St. Vincent, we grow root crops. We want to lead the Dominica root crops, okay? When we look at the dietary requirements for all of us, in It will increase regional trade into regional Trinidad as energy. We could use energy from Trinidad and the others plus other energies, natural energy, to add value. Our food doesn't have to leave the region to add value. We use the areas where our brothers have the energy most, which is most cost effective. We send the material there, they transform it, and this, right? That increases trade, it increases health, it increases savings. We have one banking system where we do operate our things. We use technology and do our training. We could do even for our organizational structure.
Right.
We could network online with our organization, just like how you have this platform.
Right.
Every 16, whatever country, 17 countries in CARICOM could log into their program, the groupings from them like this, and share their ideas. And we fashion it, take the best out and get the real balance and the harmony there from the ideas.
Get the formula.
Right. And we show each other what we do.
That's right.
And once we start to do that kind of trade, we have a structure now where we could develop other industries from that. We now could develop our own tourism model from our own food model.
That's right.
Because we could now attract the kind of tourists who would want to come and not stay in a hotel.
Healthy foods.
They want to stay with one of us who on this thread and say, I'm coming to you. I'm bringing 4 or 5 people.
That's right.
You know, and we're staying there, and your community would provide all the services, whether it's laundry, whatever it is.
Yes,
so the tourism dollar
totally agree.
Instead of 21 cents in the tourism dollar or 19 cents in the Caribbean, is a reverse.
That's right.
89 cents stays here, or 79 cents, and the rest a little bit go back outside.
So
we come wealthy and we come healthy.
They talk building more hotels.
And we treat the environment better. We have less crime, because crime is a deterrent to agriculture in terms of pre-deal larceny.
Oh man.
And we have to teach that from the preschool level up, so that these people 10, 15 years down the road, their minds are not in that darkness.
That's right.
So you minimize the number of people who would eventually become pre-deal larcenists by having a different education system.
A
different social system.
Agree.
That's the only way. You don't beat these things out of people. You teach them into people.
You teach them, a different way. I agree.
Right.
Totally.
So this whole CARICOM gonna be carry gone. The whole CARICOM gonna be gone.
Carry gone.
Because some people want to carry them somewhere right now, you know. They want to carry them come somewhere.
Them want Bush Bob. That's what they really all want. All them want Bush Bob, man.
And we would have developed a different paradigm, a different platform. So when we have our festivals, whatever it is, whatever festival we have, our tourism product will be so much more productive than the one they have here now, which is a sterile one, which is a few people eat, and they will be surprised.
But that's deep. That's deep. I love it though. I totally love it. And before you go, I gotta throw this at you. You know, it's only a must. This gotta throw this curveball at you. Medicinal cannabis in the region. We have been marginalized with this initiative from island to island to island. And by we, yes, I mean indigenous people, but specifically Rastafari. You know, what advice would you give to the authorities with regards to medicinal cannabis? Because I recently found out, and I'm going to look into this a little bit more so I can find the actual document to show the whole world. In Barbados, I was told that you could have an import license to import medicinal cannabis, to import cannabis, period. But you can't sell the cannabis here as raw material. You have to turn it into a product, I suppose. You can sell a product, but you can't sell the raw material. So you gotta look into that to see if that's verified, whether that's true or not. Hopefully one of my attorneys on here watching right now, they could see if you could advise me accordingly. But if this is true, if this is indeed true, then what kind of gimmick is really going on, because like I said, they pull up some trees somewhere and said, Philip, the other day they said they got 8,000 trees, and they felt, yeah, we did that. We stopped this brother from feeding his family. Yet this white man down the road can not only feed his family, he could export all over the world, man, and build mansions for his family. What's the difference? Why is it you feel the question in essence is, why you feel Rastafari has been marginalized in this whole operation?
Well, to be truthful, the clean cannabis, the clean herb, right?
Right. Clean.
The clean herb is not how they have labeled it as a drug.
Right.
Never was. It's a medicine.
Right.
That is why they could derive the term medicinal herb.
Right. Indeed.
They're using it like it's something else. No, it's clean herb is medicine. It's food and medicine. Okay?
Right.
Now you could actually take any living thing and make a drug out of it, you know.
Okay.
Bioengineering. Wait, hold on, me brother.
Okay.
We can't let these people get away.
Okay.
Bioengineering. We don't want that in the region.
Okay.
They are already planning to bioengineer cannabis seeds.
So that's why
like how they bioengineer our food. We do not want that medicinal type of industry here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Bob used to smoke a herb. Bob Marley, the greatest lyricist the world has seen. Nobody doubting that.
Mm.
Greatest lyricist. He didn't get all the lyrics himself, but he had the intelligence, the ideation to pick if you say something and he could resonate with that. He put it together in such a way that 100 years from now, people will still be singing Bob tunes.
Serious.
Okay, anyway. He used to smoke a herb that is only 14 or 15% THC. Now that is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 30 that Babylon want to go to all of them. So because as you know, you always talk about it, it's balance. Everything is balanced.
That's right.
So the ratio of the natural ratio of the components within a marijuana plant has to be maintained within that. It is not the exactly same, but it has to be maintained for the medicine to be effective. You must have a certain ratio of the THC, the one that they want us to think about, the CBD, right? The CBN and all these things, the terpenes, everything have to be in a balance. It's just like the mystic and the rainbow. If it's in balance, you don't see too much of big red in a rainbow and a little green. No, it's a balance.
It's true. It's true.
So what I'm saying to the leaders, first of all, make sure that there is no genetic engineering in what you are bringing into the region.
First thing
I have
first.
a problem with people who want to produce this stuff here, coming in and investing. But they must also invest in a joint venture with the local people, so that whatever is here, what resources are here, has a cost. They have a cost. And we are part of that resource. That's the first thing.
I agree.
The other thing is that we must also be at the forefront of the research. You know, one of the researches we have to do in marijuana? See its potential to be a biopesticide, a companion plant for certain crops. I'm working on that right now. I could tell you so straight up in a small light, right? I ain't asking anybody any permission to do it. I'm doing it on 2 acres and 3 acres. I'm doing it in an area where I could control my data.
Right, right.
And taking copious notes. If it's grown with this, what is the best companion plant? Does it enhance the flavor of, say, sweet peppers or tomatoes or cauliflower or pea, whatever, okay? Because I remember in the 70s and the 80s, the marijuana that used to be grown in St. Vincent was almost naturally pest resistant.
Wow.
And the marijuana that the guys are growing now, even the medical marijuana, the seeds that they bring for them now, the genetics has been so broken down and twisted that they're suffering now from insect pests in the bud. We never had that before.
Insects inside the bud.
Insect pests and insect laying eggs in the bud in the buds. So that birds come and birds would eat the buds, look for the insect and destroy your buds. That is why they're talking about growing them inside, you know.
Yeah,
not because of any environment, it's because of that.
I understand. Wow. I never even knew that. But that says a lot though.
So we have to guard our indigenous seed material in everything in the region. Food, herb,
I agree.
everything. We have to guard that.
I like that. I like that.
The security that we must, you can't secure food security without that.
Part of food security
cannot be based on somebody else's seed. Somebody else's planting material. We have to base our food security on our own planting material.
So even the seeds you got to secure and guard.
Exactly.
That deep, brother.
But that is where things start from.
That deep. I agree. And all them hybrid seeds and stuff, we don't want them down here. We don't want them. Because we also know that they plan to put in the future, not too distant future, they plan to put the vaccines inside the food using the mRNA technology, modifying those chemicals so that we ain't got to have you take the injection. We're going to put it in the food and starve you. Then we're going to feed you the food we want you to eat. So
the other thing in the herb is that they have what they call feminized seeds.
Yeah.
Now just listen to that phrase. Just listen to that phrase.
Oh man. You ain't gonna say no more. It speaks for itself. Listen,
you
Bishop, you gonna have to get you back on here another time as you.
So I have 3 sons, and I go feminize my sons.
Get him a
feminized my seeds.
Get him a feminized seed. Nah, man, nah.
A woman is a woman. Period. A feminine is a feminine. Period. You don't have to feminize it.
We living in some different days. Bishop, we want definitely thank you for coming through again. Politically Incorrect. Definitely want to extend that.
Just play some good music for me there, man. Just play
you covered. I got you covered, man. Listen,
love you folks, man. Respect, man.
I give thanks, brother. I give thanks, man. I give thanks.
Yeah, my brother. Love you always, man.
As usual, the family gonna give you nothing but hearts, man. Kinetic energy from Barbados all the way across the water to you and your family. We extend the love and respect, my brother.
We have to protect all our mothers, Mother Earth first, and then all the mothers. Without that, we have no race, man.
Rastafari. We give thanks, my brother. Give thanks.
Yes, man.
Jeez on brother Bishai. Brother Bishai be dropping it. Big heel to the brother, man. Rastafari love, right true. Family, I want to thank you all for supporting this initiative as always. Supporting myself and the brothers and sisters. The brothers say that this group, this audience is the most woke. You say y'all live, y'all in woke, y'all live, because you know woke now, woke is past tense of wake in a sense, and wake is the dead. So we ain't dead. We live living beings in living color. We not the straw man, them whatever fake fictitious birth certificate, capitalization, whatever them dealing with. Capitalization, which is interesting. That just hit me, I just had an epiphany. Capitalization. When your birth name is capitalized and the system is a capitalist system to capitalize capitalization. It's so simple though. It's come to you when you're supposed to receive it. But I give thanks for the download, family. Right now, family, I got 2 more links real quick to share. And in the interest of time, we're going to just drop this in here so we could do that real quick. Here's another one you can look up in terms of the food security as well. Just some more perspective that we could read and look up, do some research on, because if they were paying enough, if they were paying the same kind of attention that we are paying here in Politically Incorrect, I mean, we would have had this problem solved already. Food, like Bishai was just saying, food security and nutrition. You can't talk about food and securing food and not talk about healthy food, because if you ain't got no healthy food, then it's not food. If it's not nutritional food or nutritious food, it can't be food. You might as well eat styrofoam sprinkled with a little sawdust. You might even get more out of that than some of these things they sell nowadays that they call food. So write this link down as well, family. Like I said, I put the link in the comments below if you can see it. Food security and nutrition, a youth perspective. And this is very informative. Again, like I said, what I like also is the idea of chart, how they kind of go from food insecurity to food security. And the way they make that transition is very interesting, in terms of right now receiving assistance. And basically it's about giving out a fish versus teaching people how to fish. So, yeah, one of the key parts I noticed about this particular SNAP education, by the way, which is just bring you up to speed, is the youth education. This is so important right now that we can't have our children locked in a classroom for COVID. All that is strategy too. We need our children outside for a number of reasons, including learning, agriculture, and new initiatives and technologies going forward, so that in the future, they can secure their food and also the food for us when we reach our elderly state. So write this link down, share it with your family, check it out. I found it to be somewhat informative. There's one more. This one. Yeah, this is the other one real quick. This the last one I'm going to share for now, family, is, let me go and put this up. Hang on, share the screen. Chrome tab. 5 startups, discovering 5 top startups developing food security solutions. Yes, discover 5 top startup developing food security solutions. Let me put this in the chat as well. I want to post this here. You can look this one up as well. This ideas, family, this might jog something in your mind, help you look, get the direction you want to go in, or your church group, or your youth group, or your political group, or your sorority, or fraternity, or whatever you're working with, or just yourself. But again, don't go at it alone. As best you can, educate yourself, get informed, connect with people, learn, relearn, unlearn, relearn, and make the best of it, man. Because at the end of the day, family, like I said, all we have is us. And this situation here is crucial. The brother talked about replenishing the soil as priority in step number 1, using compost and other ways to put microbes back into, get the soil the nutrients. Because I even find that a lady told me yesterday, I saw Medal yesterday, she said she had banana trees growing in the back of her house now for years and never got no bananas from them. And I'm thinking, yeah, the soil needs nutrients. Trees need a little love and energy. And so that's how you do that. Replenish the soil with the compost and certain microbes. Ownership of land gives you pride and a sense of taking care of what is rightfully yours, And I thought that was also a good thing, because we have this thing about the past and not working the land, called farming and agriculture and slavery. That's how they poison our minds. But the land was always ours from start. Look at our skin. And so technology, there's more new ways of doing farming than back in the days where you're breaking your back and sweating in the sun all day. So there are new ways to do that. And that's the thing. So we don't have to look at it like, well, there's just learn. Education right now was the last thing he pointed out that will help us get all that knowledge that is needed to make going forward a lot easier. So family, I want to give thanks again for sharing, for coming in, dropping in, and, putting it together. Politically incorrect, how we do. What more can I say? I want to share this link real quick here now, and drop this tune here. The brother said play a good tune, right? Play a big tune, and play a big tune real quick, man, before we go. Definitely want to shout out everybody that took the time to stay with us and give us their energy and no full stop. I want you to know that, a time going to come in the not too distant future, man, where, all the things that went wrong, all the things that they've been doing, good, bad, and indifferent, that time going to come. That time going to come. And when that time come, they're going to have to answer for it. So.
This is the man walking out the house of the ungodly. Till I see I respect every time. Me sing, after me from Jamaica to Papa control. Preaching, kitchen, the people.
This song a little low for me, but I can see what happened, family. Come back to Barbados and I see everything going wrong. Everything going wrong. As I come forward, I see everything going wrong. I can't believe it. I thought I was still in New York. Yes. Bent on foreign pan tour. And as I come forward, there is no escape, family. Hear the man say? There is no escape. No escape. But guess what? Since them can't escape, let me tell you why them can't escape. Let me give you one more. Just one more. Just one more. This one more. This is my favorite right now. This has been my favorite, especially when I was there in New York. I kid you not. That's all I was thinking about all along. This tune right here.
Equal rights and justice for all.
This tune right
Rise
here.
and never fall. Tell them, say, boom.
What them gonna do?
When enough for them not true. Say what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think
Who you think you are?
Living in a small world.
Small world, family. It's a small world.
As wicked as you think you are. We living in a small world.
Small world, family. That's my 2 cents. All the corruption going on in the land, right? Budget what? We living in different times, family. All the wicked ones getting burned. No place to run. Jesus. Oh Lord, man, I gotta pull that, Joe. Hold on, I gotta pull that. I gotta pull that, Jackie.
What they gonna do when enough of them not true? Say what they gonna do, them get slow, yeah. Who do you think you are?
Yes, family. We're living in a small world, family. Don't fool yourself. You can do what you like, but not for as long as you like. You can do what you like, but not as long as you like. Mr. Minister, that day will come. Yes. No place to run. Yes, family. Jeez, oh, bro.
And the day I would love to see their face.
Love to see their face, man. All the things they do.
And try to take things out of place. Run away to space. Shoot them in the air. I'm the one that just meant to have to get the taste. When them find out that
they can't escape.
Sadness they send on the people them trace.
Smile on their face. Yes. Mr. Minister, I hope you're paying attention. Nowhere to run. And the least as much as you did this to one of my children. And the least that you did it to one of my children. Remember that you did it unto me. We living in a small world. Jeez. So long live Armageddon. Order.
As the jury reached a verdict, how do you find the defendant?
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty as charged.
Gee, God, man. Mr. Minister. Prophet.
So, Capleton, you won the trial. What's next? What's next for Capleton?
Well, all my life I've been strong, from buckle to buckle, from struggle to struggle. You have to know where you're coming from in order to know where you're going. Stay strong, stay focused.
Rastafari.
All my life I've been strong. Never get caught in the confusion.
Jeez, son. All my life, family. All my life, man. Rastafari. Yes, family. We now quench the fire. We now quench the fire.
Well, there you have it from the prophet himself. From battle to battle, from strength to strength. This has been your news choice, the People's TV.
Jeez, politically incorrect in the building. Shout out to Capleton.
Mike, Twins, we are here representing for Garrison Radio. Yes, Kingston 13 FM. And the FM there means females, as we don't see males. Yes, and we're going to be joining the famous boss man on line 2, as I believe that's the appropriate number for his kind. Quite so, yes. Hello, boss man, line 2, hello.
Yes.
Hello, I hear you're a bit...
Yes, family. Anyhow, this will be cut it off right there for now. Anyhow, we out of here. What time is it? Yeah, it's almost up to the mark, 2 hours. You know how we do. But again, family, we give thanks, we give thanks, we give thanks. Remember, family, there's much work to be done. And, the city harvest is ripe, but the workers are few. But just remember that in the process of this whole thing, get to know yourself. No mind the corona and the war and everything. All right, things happening, but take time to know yourself and know your mission here on earth, right? Take care of your family, your loved ones, your circle, your work colleagues, whatever. Come together, do what you got to do, because it's love and unity we're dealing with, family. So, again, politically incorrect on Mondays, 8 o'clock. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday at 8. Usually at 8 o'clock. Maybe just a little bit after, depending on what's happening. But usually, you could guarantee that time, give or take. We're working on the 8 o'clock, though, punctuality, because you never know. People be waiting for us. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're now watching this after the fact in a different country, and that's what time we come on live. And if you feel like contributing, the PayPal account is eBarilia@gmail.com. Every support counts, man. Every little dime, every little dollar. Imagine we got $1 from 1 million people. We in the building, family. So don't even think that $1 is too small. Or you can get $1 million from one person, even better. So on top of that, if you want to reach us, the number is 838-8253 or politically.n.correct246@gmail.com. All the information is right below there. You can't miss it. But anyhow, family, tell a friend and tell a friend. You know how we do. It's been real good. It's been real good. A lot of things happening. I feel wonderful. It's been a beautiful day. The farm is nice. As far as the budget and stuff, family, like I said, more promises. And the promise is just a comfort of food. We have to secure the food ourselves and secure ourselves. Next thing we're going to do is look into other ways of expanding this food security initiative, because at least like Christ on the mountain, you got to feed the people before you start teaching, because you can't really learn on an empty stomach. So we got work to do, family. Yeah, I give thanks again. Blessed love to each and every one, and hope each and every one have an amazing and marvelous Monday night. Haile Selassie I, Empress Wazira Menin. Yes, family. One perfect balance, right? And on that note, that's how we're going to leave the building. I'll see you all on Wednesday, 8 p.m.